and the Free State is also part of among the provinces that have actually had their numbers going down from 121,074 in 2012 to 51,088 this time around.
Well, the membership has gone down, but in reality, there was a deadline for the NGC. We still have members who are members of the ANC, but because of the audit process, others have renewed their membership. So our membership does not stand at that number, but for the audit purposes of the NGC, the membership which qualifies is that number you see.
Doesn't then that suggest that perhaps you didn't have your house in order? In other words, that you couldn't meet the deadline so that you get the right number? Perhaps suggest that there's something wrong with your machinery. It's not jacked up.
Well, we haven't been focusing on putting the right structures into place. It's only now that we have employed the provincial membership officer. And in the regions, I think in the last month, we have employed regional membership officers who will actually deal with membership and look at it, analyze it from time to time. How many young people are joining us, how many old, how many literate professionals and all that. That's what we are trying to do. And now that we have our systems into place, I think, and we, as a province of the Free State, every weekend, you'll see throughout our branches, the tables in town, at each and every corner, in every ward, you'll see membership recruitment, membership renewal. We'll do what the churches always do. Go to those members who have not renewed their membership. Because one of the things which has, and I think the President has talked about it and the Secretary General, which has discouraged people from taking membership, those who wants to have membership, is because they don't get their membership in time. They wait for a year or two. The membership which we are distributing now, which SG was talking about, is membership of about 3, 4, 5 years ago. People are getting those membership cards now, but they have taken membership now. They want the membership of this year. They don't want membership of the last 3 years or so. And I think that is also discouraging our members. But as a Free State, we are, and we have embarked from October. Every month, every branch, every region will be reporting on membership.
So your comrades shouldn't worry that come when the time has come to mobilize people for next year's local government elections, there won't be as many people on the ground mobilizing people to go and vote.
We have a lot of members. We have communities behind us. We have full-time soldiers on the ground now, not just membership officers. Our secretaries, there are 2 regions where our secretaries were not full-time. They are going to be full-time, and serious focus on rebuilding the structures of the movement. Organizational renewal will definitely take place immediately after the NGC. And whatever shortcomings and weaknesses identified, because that's what we do, evaluate, and the NGC is actually about that, midterm evaluation and assessment of our performance. And where we are criticized and we're weak, I think self-criticism and objective criticism is what we always make us strong as we move forward into the future.
Coming to this conference, what for the province of the Free State as ANC are what is foremost in your mind? What are the issues that you're putting on the table, those issues that you feel very, very strongly about?
Well, one of the issues, of course, the most important issue which the PGC of the Free State has taken every branch is the withdrawal from ICC. And the second one is around non-viable municipalities. As a Free State province, you can say these municipalities don't pay ESCOM, they don't pay water boards, but the fact of the matter is that these small areas have no economic base, they have no tax base, they have no revenue. I can cite 1 or 2 towns in Mafube municipality. If I take a town like Cornelia, it has 11,000 people, 50 white people staying in that area. And no base, no shop, no nothing.
What do you think should happen to such municipalities?
Such municipalities must be integrated into possible viable municipalities. They must be clubbed together. And one resolution we took at Polokwane was that some of these municipalities, their workers, their officials, their councillors must be paid from the national fiscus. It will resolve this issue of municipalities not being able to pay their... It's not what we have created, it's what apartheid dealt with our people. 50 words, you go to 245 words, 68 streets, 102 streets, and that is a town, no economic base.
Are your comrades hearing what you're saying?
Well, we took this decision. At times I don't understand why probably a national cabinet or ministers don't implement, and ourselves who are in government, why we don't implement the resolutions of the party, because those resolutions are supposed to fund us. We have dealt with the issue of funding model, that the funding model must not be based on population. Because if you base it on population, it means KwaZulu-Natal, Gauteng, Western Cape, there will always be skewed development in South Africa. Our province and Northern Cape and other provinces are vast. We are the second biggest in terms of the land size in South Africa. Our areas are scattered. If you want to travel from Bloemfontein to Vrede, you take 4 or 5 hours. In Gauteng here, you just take an hour, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, you reach another destination. So, funding model by national government should not be based on population. That's what we have argued, and we have won that debate, but implementation is not happening. So the funding model is very, very key. And one of the issues we'll be bringing to the NGC is about building of houses. There are those houses pre-1994, dilapidated houses, 2-room houses. National want to focus only on building new houses. They don't think about those dilapidated houses, the 2-room bed houses, the 1-room houses. They are there, and as a province we have dealt with them. So we are bringing this matter in terms of the national ratification program. We are saying the ratification program must include pre-1994 houses, whether they are dilapidated or whether it's 2-room or 1-room houses.
The possible restructuring of provinces or reorganization, probably, which is probably a code word for the reduction of the number of provinces. What is your attitude?
Well, we have taken long ago that decision, even in the last National Mangaung conference, as well as our province, and nationally I think we have adopted the fact that we must reduce the number of provinces. It is for us to implement that decision. It's for national to implement that decision. We are ready as a province when we deal with the boundaries and the borders. We are ready because we are South Africans. I'm not worried whether Free State will be part of any other province. We are part of South Africa, and I'm a South African, and we believe in a unitary South Africa. That's what we have said in the Freedom Charter. One non-racial, non-sexist, united, democratic, probably prosperous South Africa.
Several issues were raised yesterday coming out of both the political report of President Zuma as well as the organizational report of the Secretary General of the ANC, Gwede Mandashe, around issues of discipline and corruption, but also the issue of members not leading by example. A case in point is the increase in the number of leaders of the ANC who in one way or the other are implicated in corruption.
Well, if they are implicated is something else, because you know the universal principle that anybody is innocent until proven otherwise. If we just believe in allegations, and those allegations has not been proven, perceived or otherwise, there is this natural legal processes which are supposed to take place. And once a person has been found guilty by a court of law, that's the resolution we have taken. Because anybody can talk about me and allege something, and on the basis of that, you can't take a decision on the basis of allegations. But we have to deal with perceived or otherwise perceptions of corruption. As a movement, I think we need to confront those issues.
Well, it's interesting, and it doesn't differ with you, except that the report of the organizational report says, as the number of these comrades who are either charged or have pending cases of corruption against them, as the number of these comrades grows, we will be unable to sustain the technical argument of innocent until proven guilty.
No, but it's not technical. That is the universal principle.
Well, that's what your report, the report of
That's the report. We'll
ANC
engage the
says.
report. Because the report is not an NGC report. The report is presented to delegates. It's up to delegates to engage the report and come with conclusions and resolutions and prepare for the national conference in 2017 to finally take decisions. But for now, the position says a person is innocent until proven otherwise.
You don't think that continuing with that argument may just slowly erode the public's confidence? Remember, I mean, we're talking here about, the ANC had over 1.2 million members. That number has now gone down, but you're saying there are technical issues there. But the fact of the matter is that if you look at last year's election, more than 10 million people voted for the ANC. Now, those are the people who want to be proud to say, I voted for the ANC. Now, if these kinds of perceptions continue to linger, then those people will slowly lose confidence in the ANC. You don't think?
I don't think so,
that will happen?
What we are not doing, we are not also analyzing and say so many people. It's not just leaders and comrades and whatever, society. So many people have been charged. They were labeled to be corrupt. And how many have been found not guilty? And what do you do with that? If you remember, in 1996, it was alleged that time, and I was suspended, and I was proven not guilty. President Zuma was charged with alleged rape and all that, and finally was not found guilty. Once you say to somebody, step aside, and somebody has been deliberately, here we are in politics, we are not in something else. In politics, there are enemies. We are not supposed to be enemies, but there are people who don't like this one or that one, and they just come with stories. And what do? You act on the basis of that. We have seen it when people write letters and complain about this one and that one, and when you call them, you realize that no, but this is not true. People, by that time, your image has been tarnished. What do you do? Because the media won't come back, society won't come back and say, we are sorry, we apologize. And I can tell you there are many, many people, including people in my province, who were in the media charged with corruption, and they finally won the cases. Nobody has talked about them winning those cases in a court of law.
Let's go to another issue which you highlighted as one of the issues you feel very strongly about, and that is the ICC. Now, I think the position, generally speaking, is no. But the question I want to ask you, as someone who said that it's an issue you feel very strongly about, is this. When we decided to be part of the ICC system, one of the main reasons was that there are millions of Africans who suffer under dictators or people who don't treat those people well. Because there is no provision at the moment for those people to be taken care of, do we not leave them vulnerable by insisting that let's get out of the ICC system because it has become, for lack of a better description, a kangaroo court for African leaders? Where do we leave the vulnerable millions of African people who we said we're concerned about in the first instance?
The African Union will have its own court.
But it's not there at the moment.
It is there. It has been perceived. I think we need to strengthen that court and make sure that as Africa we are on our own. We determine our own pace and tempo in terms of moving forward. Because those who are even more vocal are not part of ICC. Whether you talk America and anybody, they are not part. But they are the ones who make a lot of noise to say this is what is happening.
But in spite of their noises, I mean, shouldn't we care about our people?
That's why we must have our own.
And not about them.
That's why as Africa we must have our own.
Let's move on then to issues that have been in the news lately. What is your province's attitude towards a woman president for the ANC?
Well, as the province of the ANC, we always elect a person on merit. It doesn't matter whether that person is a man or woman. And at the right time, I think the Women's League is raising this matter, but at the right time, we will engage. And
Do you have a view,
branches
though?
of the ANC, no, we don't have a view as a province. We don't have a view because we are members of the ANC, and we have agreed as a province that there is no need to discuss leadership now. We will discuss leadership in 27 at the right time when the NEC says now is time for us to, because we are allowed to lobby. Everybody, a branch, a region, province, we will lobby at that time once we hear and once our branches have started the nomination processes. We will then be able to play in that space. For now, any president, woman or man, for as long as we are going to be conscious and elect leadership on merit, capacity and ability, because at times, because we are angry, we just elect leadership. I think it is time for the ANC branches to take a flashback, evaluate, and say these are the type of leaders we need for the future. Whether it will be a man or woman, as a province, we won't have a problem.
There's something called the Premier's League. Do you know anything about it?
Well, it's something called Premier's League. I don't know anything about it. I'm still looking for, I'm the Premier. I'm used to all premiers in South Africa. We are working together. And I still want to understand, what is this so-called Premier's League? What have we done?
Well, it's just said that you and the Premier of Mpumalanga and the Premier of the Northwest have clubbed together, and you continue to mobilize ANC structures and people towards a particular agenda.
How did we do that?
I don't know.
What is clubbing together? Our ANC branches of the Youth League, of the Women's League, don't they have their own independent minds? Their vote is secret. They vote, they go to their conferences. I was not even at the conference of the Youth League or Women's League. How do I influence the whole national to elect so and so?
What do you think?
It doesn't make sense. It's what we are fighting, and I believe in discussing ANC issues internally. That's why I've never gone to the media, because two wrongs don't make a right. Whoever has gone to the media is something else. My responsibility as a leader is to go to whoever alleges and comes to me and say, you are part of the so-called Premier's League. Then we can engage and say, well, but I don't know what you are talking about. Because I think it's a creation of the media that there is a Premier's League. I don't think there is such a thing.
As these three premiers, you don't call each other often or meet and just discuss issues and find common ground or something like that. Maybe that's
as
what
the
someone
Free
could
State,
be
we have made
referring
it
to.
very clear. The PwC of the Free State has met with the PwC of Northwest. The PwC of the Free State has met with PwC of Eastern Cape. The 7 premiers, the beginning ones, immediately when we elected premiers, we met in KZN, 7 of us. There was one apology from Gauteng. We met as premiers, and nobody called us Premier's League.
So there's no such a thing.
I don't think there is such a thing. I still want it.
Even
but
informally.
I relate to comrades, and I relate to these comrades, and there is nothing wrong.
Magashule, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Good.